is everybody doing this morning? Well, here in North Carolina, it's pretty chilly. It's pretty chilly. I'm going to be making a bread pudding this morning. And this is a great fall breakfast, dessert. It would be great for Thanksgiving. It would be great for a late evening snack. And I am going to be using my leftover buttermilk biscuits from dinner yesterday. And I've got some apples that need to be eaten, which I think they're probably too soft. I don't like a real soft apple. So I'm going to cook those in some butter and some brown sugar. And that's what we're going to use. Now, if you don't have any fresh apples, you can use the apple pie filling. Absolutely. If you don't have homemade biscuits, you can use brioche bread. You can use Italian bread. You can use canned biscuits, whatever you got. It'll work. And it'll still be good. It will work. All right. Now, I cubed up my... Excuse me, it got hung on that thing. I cubed up my biscuits. I had about 4 or 5 biscuits left. My recipe yesterday only made 8. And I got them here in the oven. And I got it on 300. I just want to toast them up a little bit, you know. Then I've got 2 types of apples. And I put some fresh lemon juice in here to try to keep them from oxidizing. But I guess it's working. I don't know. So anyway, I've got about, it doesn't look like it, but it's about 5 apples in here. You need about 2 cups. Now, you can use any kind of apple you like. Most people use Granny Smith. This is a combination of Fiji, and a couple of Red Delicious. And they're good with lemon juice on them. Really are. So we're going to make this a savory sweet application. And I've got some good old Kerrygold butter. And I probably need to use this up because I've had it for a while. And it is real butter. I'm telling you, it's real. I was watching a show on YouTube yesterday on what not to eat as far as butter, what's real butter. What they say is butter is, look at the fat content that is really not butter. Talking about ice cream, the best kind of ice creams that's really real ice cream. Loaf bread, what's real loaf bread and what's not good for you at all. They change it all the time, but anyway. These days, right now, this time, we got to eat what we can afford. Just saying. We can't be too picky. So I got some butter here. That's probably what, 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons. I'm gonna melt that, and I may add more, I don't know. And I'm gonna add my apples to that once it gets good and melted. And I'm gonna go ahead and add just a dash or 2 of cinnamon. Find me a spoon. I think that lemon and apples, when you put the lemon over the apples, it tastes so good. And that keeps them from oxidizing. It keeps pretty much anything from oxidizing, the acid in it. Keeps your avocados from turning brown too quickly. It do. All right. I might ought to add just a little bit more. Because it's going to need it. Go ahead and put that in there. Get it going. Okay, I'm back. I had to fix my husband an egg sandwich. He just got up. Okay, now I added some salt. Just a dash. You know, just a sprinkle of salt to these apples. And I added a little bit of vanilla bean paste. And I know you're normally not supposed to put vanilla in things until after they're cooked, but I wanted that vanilla to kind of infuse into these apples. Now, as you can see, they're pretty soft, see? And I don't want them to be mushy. I think that's perfectly fine. And I forgot something. Okay. Now, I added some brown sugar, light brown sugar, about a little less than 1/4 cup, or 1/4 cup, either way. You want to do it by your taste. You can even use honey, but you need to taste it to see how sweet you want it. It smells so wonderful there. There in that pan. Yummy. All right, I'm gonna get a fork and I'm gonna taste and see what I think. Just about another tablespoon and it'll be fine. You don't want it too sweet, because remember I put some lemon juice in this too, so it kind of made it tart. And a little bit more salt to balance that out. Y'all smell that? I wish y'all could. It needs just a little bit more cinnamon, not much. And you need to put as much cinnamon as you like. It calls for about 1/2 teaspoon. Okay. All right, that's perfect. Now I'm going to cut up some bacon. And we're going to fry little pieces of bacon. Now, I took some of that Kerrygold and buttered this 8x10, 8x11, let me see. Excuse me, 8x11 dish. And my sister bought me some really pretty casserole dishes for my birthday, but I'm going to wait and use those for Thanksgiving. And I'm going to record some of my cooking. Some of my cooking. Yeah. So I got 3 eggs, y'all. Room temperature. Now, I'm going to use some evaporated milk. And let's see, I got to have 1 3/4 cup. So, I'm going to use mostly this. And I've got some caramel. You can make your own. And a little bit of granulated sugar. I may substitute that because I like the molasses flavor better in a bread pudding than the brown sugar part than I do the granulated sugar. All right, I'm gonna take these apples and put them in the bottom of this dish. Get all that goodness out of it. And you can do as many apples as you like. You know, it's up to you. You can add raisins. You could add cranberries. I may have some cranberry. I'm gonna check and see if I have some dried cranberries. Now I do have some sweetened cranberries and candied pecans. I may just add that in there. Because you know, this is a dish where you can add a lot of stuff, whatever you like. And I like the cranberries better than I do raisins. I mean, I don't despise raisins by no means, but I do like these. And you don't have to put a lot. I may have another bag, but you don't have to put a whole lot. I tell you something else that I think is delicious. When you take onions and you cook them with apples, I like that too. I thought about putting them in this, but I didn't want to overdo it. Hey, so I have a couple slices of bacon. And I used the side that was the fattiest because I like it. I cut my bacon in half, and I just used 1/2 of it, and then I just kind of cubed it up like this. I didn't actually use half of it. I just used probably 1/4 of it. And I want to get this good and crispy. Alrighty. I always take my bacon and try to put it in a Ziploc and get all the air out of it. Ta-da! So that can of evaporated milk gave me 1½ cups. And I just added the rest with cream, whipping cream, heavy cream. I want to get me one of those things you put over your frying pans to keep grease from popping all over the place. This is all I got out of that bacon. Oh. And I only ate one little bitty piece. Okay, guys. Now I've got 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk. I said 3 eggs, but basically it's 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk. I'm gonna scramble that up. And in this bowl here, I've got my evaporated milk, plus a little bit of heavy cream, which will equal 1 3/4 cup of milk. All right. And I always scrape my bowls to make sure I get all the ingredients out, because I do think it makes a difference. And we need 1/4 cup of melted butter. And that was perfect. I measured that just right almost. That's liquid gold right there. I don't want to waste that. Get all that goodness out. All right. And I added just a pinch of salt because, you know, we've got these other elements. We don't need to add much salt. Just a dab. Just a little pinch. Now we're going to have 1 cup of brown sugar. And like I said, I put some vanilla in there too. It didn't say packed. It just said 1 cup. Now, whether you pack it or not, that's, you know, it's up to you. So there we go. 1 cup of brown sugar. And I don't know if y'all know this, but if your brown sugar gets all hard and caked up, take an apple and cut a piece of apple and stick it down in your brown sugar, and it'll keep your brown sugar moist. All right, so we got our cinnamon, our eggs, our vanilla, our butter, our brown sugar, and our milk. And you can add raisins if you want to, and if you do, just add ever how much you want. All right, let me get my whisk, my whiskey. And I'm gonna use the same whisk that I used to beat up my eggs. Just make sure that it's all incorporated. And you'll see little pieces of butter starting to get hard in this cold milk. Okay, I'll set this aside for a second. And I'm gonna bring this back. Now you can do this 2 ways. You can go ahead and put your bread over this and pour your custard over it, or you can put your bread in your custard. I choose to put my bread in my custard so it can soak up a little bit. I don't know if I've got enough bread. If I don't, I will add regular white bread or some brioche. It doesn't matter. And I'm just going to give this a little toss just so that my bread will get incorporated. I don't want to tear it up. It looks so good, and I know it's going to be good. It's hard to mess up a bread pudding, y'all. You could put a shoe in it and some eggs and brown sugar, and it would be good. So we would have shoe bread pudding. I'm serious. Okay. Now I'm going to let this sit for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And I will be back. And I wanted to tell y'all also, if you wanted to add ginger, ground ginger, which I do a lot, or pumpkin pie spice, star anise, whatever you like, put it in your bread pudding. Preheat your oven to 350. Okie dokie. It's time to pour it on. Y'all ready to pour it on? Alrighty. Smells so good. So I'm going to spread that out. Make sure it's, you know, dunked down in there. And it's going to be so wonderful and comforting. And this would be great for Thanksgiving morning or the Thanksgiving dinner. And it's easy. Alrighty. I think I got it all in there. we've got to bake this for 35 to 40 minutes until it's not, you know, jiggly. All right? So, y'all don't go anywhere, okay? It's done. 40 minutes. 350. Now, I'm going to take some bacon. I know y'all might think this sounds weird, but it's a savory sweet. And that's just the way it goes. Now, you can do a glaze if you want to. Totally up to you. But I'm going to do a caramel sauce. Make sure I got that thing. Okay. All righty. Daggone. So let's give it a taste. All righty. And the apples and some bacon, cranberry, Tastes like a, in between an apple pie and a, I don't know, apple strudel or something. That's good. Maybe a cinnamon biscuit apple pie. That's what it tastes like. And it is good. With the bacon, just that little bit of smoky saltiness. I like it. Yeah. And I do believe the raisins would be a good addition. All righty. There we go. Now I gotta do my dishes. Y'all gotta make that. It's lovely. That would be really good for Thanksgiving morning or dinner. Thank y'all for watching. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening. It's still morning, but I hope you have a wonderful evening. And next week I'm having some surgery. I don't know if I'm gonna be videoing a lot. I'm gonna try. But y'all keep me in your prayers, okay? I'll talk to y'all later on A Taste of Country.